Alright, what is up, everybody? We are back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, I'm going to be looking at a Bleacher Report article. Bleacher Report put out an article today that's called Reasons to Love and Hate Every NBA Team's Season So Far. And yeah, I'm going to be reacting to it, giving my little 2 cents opinions on some of the things, the good and the bad, about every NBA team so far this year. We're in December, so we're near Christmas time, which is a big kind of part in the NBA, I guess. NBA Cup just finished. And yeah, just gives me a chance to talk about every team so far this season. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, liking, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. Like to my Twitters, all that stuff down in the description below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. All right, so here we are on the article. Reasons to love and hate every NBA team so far this season. Don't know how long it's going to be, but we'll see what happens, I guess. So yeah, we'll start with the Atlanta Hawks. To love it, the defense is trending up. The Atlanta Hawks defense is outperforming the offense, just like none of us predicted. Yeah, I mean, the defense has been a big part of why they've been hot recently, why they got all the way to the Final Four in the NBA Cup. Dyson Daniels has been amazing, all defensive type season. And yeah, the defense has been good, which is not something we've seen about the Hawks since their conference finals run back in 2021, which is big. Everything is going well on the defensive end, and that's what leading to their offense, obviously. But yeah, them just having a really solid defense helps a lot with this team, especially a defense, with Trae Young at the helm or at the guard position. Having a really solid defense is really impressive. The hate Trae Young's efficiency. Yeah, I mean, I think I said it a couple times here on the channel. When we talk about the Hawks this season, I just don't think we can rely on Trae Young's never going to be a high efficiency type of guy. With the type of shots he takes, with the way he plays, he's never going to be a 50, 40, 90. It's just not going to be that. He's going to, with the team he has, he's going to have to take some shots sometimes that's like going to be low percentage shots. But the great thing is, even though Trae Young is not having an efficient season, he's been playing very good basketball in terms of this is the best playmaking we've seen Trae Young's career. He's evolved into an amazing playmaker and getting everybody involved, and that's really what's gotten this Hawks team going. So yeah, Trae Young's efficiency, obviously, you want him to be efficient, but just don't think it's something we can rely on right now. Boston Celtics, love it. Peyton Pritchard is lighting it up. Yeah, Peyton Pritchard is doing his thing right now, running away with Six Man of the Year. He's been on it. I think he's second in the league in 3-pointers made. But he has just been on an absolute tear. So yeah, Payne Pritchard already having that tough starting five without Horford and Porzingis at the big, and now you bring in Payne Pritchard off the bench. You can go out. Sorry, who can go out and get you 20 something points, hit 5, 6 threes is like ridiculous. To hate it, I want to see what this is. Opponent shooting at the rim. Johnny's offensive, but the spotty shooting is random between movies. The Boston continues to limit opponents' looks in the rim. It's hovering around the bottom 10 in field goal percentage allowed. Its rim protection doesn't improve Al Horford and is barely league average for Kristaps Porzingis. Yeah, I mean Porzingis obviously hasn't played a whole lot of games. Oh, and he really obviously helps the rim protection. Obviously being a 7 for 3, but yeah, I mean, kind of a nitpicky one. Obviously with the Boston Celtics, you kind of need to be nitpicky because they're so good. It's tough to find any flaws. But I guess yeah, opponents shooting at the rim has been something I've heard. Hasn't been amazing with the Celtics. But, if they can just outshoot everybody, then, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's definitely something to look at. Brooklyn Nets, love it. Head coach Jordy Fernandez's offense, yes. The Nets have been one of the surprising teams in the league this season. And Jordy Fernandez, they've kind of shown Jordy Fernandez is going to be the guy for this team. He has this team going. Multiple players having career years under Jordy Fernandez. And yeah, top 10 half court offense, that's really, really true. They were at one point early in the year, they're like a top 10 offense, top 10 in points per game. Like their offense has been really, really good when they were start the season. Now it's gonna fall off because no Dennis Schroeder. They're gonna start trading away people, but yeah, Jordan Fernandez has already shown, yes, I'm gonna be the coach of the team. The future hate it. Top four lottery guys may be out of reach. Um, yeah, something you'd have to think about. The Nets started the season off so good. This year is supposed to be a tank year. A year where they finally have their own first round pick for the first time in a little while. They should be going out and going to get a Cooper Flag, an ace, a Dylan Harper, going to get one of those guys near the top of the draft. And right now they're currently in the play-in in the Eastern Conference. Good thing is it's December, and they decided to start move Dennis Schroeder in December because the first game without Dennis Schroeder, the Cavaliers absolutely destroyed them, you know. But yeah, out of reach, I don't really know yet. Like I genuinely do think the Nets have the idea in their mind. Like we're gonna start trading Cam Johnson and Dorian Finney-Smith, and without Dennis Schroeder was kind of like the heart of the team. Dennis Schroeder got everything going. Cam Thomas also is going to be out for a little while, so those are two of your arguably best players not gonna be able to play. So they're gonna start losing games in the Eastern Conference, but it also is the Eastern Conference. On the bottom of the East is the bot is really really bad. So the good thing is they have a lot of time. They still have what, like 60 something games to lose to keep going. So yeah, Charlotte Hornets. Love it. Emergences on the margins. I want to see what this reads. Cody Martin is healthy and making things happen. His jumper remains iffy, but he continues to do all the connective stuff adored by hoop heads. Everyone will finish at least 75. Just 11 players are shooting above 55% while matching Martin's assist rate. Josh Green is the only other member of the Hornets shoving a workload. Musa Diabate is also proving to be a nice filler. His offense can scoot towards clumsy, but his accuracy up shots out of the rim, both ends of floor. Only Jordan's Clint Capella, Jalen Duran, and Walker Kessler is the only players posting a total rebounding rate of at least 20 with a block percentage of 4 or higher. Yeah. Cody Martin, I think, is definitely a trade candidate at the trade deadline. I think a lot of contending teams would love to have a guy like Cody Martin. I really does hope he get traded. Josh Green, I really do like Josh Green in this Hornets. On this Hornets team, he's still very young. He's still like what, 23 years old. He's a winning player. Has been on winning teams before, and just like the Hornets don't really have players like him, guys that like players like Josh Green. I feel like he can really mold well with this team. And then Musa Diabate definitely has been really good. Where they have so many injuries on the big man. Mark Williams just came back. Nick Richards was been in and out of the lineup. Taj Gibson is 74 years old, so you can't rely on him to play a lot. But Musa Diabate definitely has been good. He's been a rebounding monster. So they definitely have found some things there. Hated injury bugs. Yeah, injury bug has been tough. Mark Williams obviously has missed a lot of time. LaMelo Ball missed a little bit, missed like a week or two. Miles Bridges missed a lot of time, and yeah, and yeah, Brandon Miller did get hurt as well late in their game too. Yes, he did get hurt late in their game against the 76ers. Yeah, injury bug's just been killing the Hornets. It really sucks because they're a team I really actually like to watch when LaMelo Ball's on the court, and without him, it's just this team is unwatchable dang near. So yeah, the Chicago Bulls, love it. The offense is fun. Yes, yes, the Bulls actually are a team to watch. Like the Bulls the last couple years have always been kind of just like, oh, whatever. But now they're getting up threes at an insane level. They just go out there and they shoot threes, man. They're just saying, we're just gonna run back and we're gonna run and shoot. That's not something the Bulls. Has not been the Bulls' identity, ever really. But yeah, like they have been doing that, shooting threes a whole lot, doing their thing. Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic are having really good seasons, building up that value. Like, yeah, this is definitely like a thing you love. At least if you're gonna be bad, at least be fun and be bad. The Bulls are doing that, so that's a great thing. Hate it, the team's direction or lack thereof. Yeah, they're still kind of. You could definitely see that they're trying to go into a rebuild this year, but it's just they can't do it yet because Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic are still on the roster. Once they trade Vucevic, and if they ever trade Zach LaVine, then that's when they can fully commit to, all right, we are rebuilding. Because you can definitely see with some of the moves they lost DeMar DeRozan, they brought in drafted Montas Buzelis, still have Kobe White, Aldisumu. Like they're still paid Patrick Williams. Like they're still trying to go into a young team. It's just they can't really do that yet when they have those two on the roster, and those two deserve minutes because they're the best players on the team. So I understand that, but I think they're trying to go into a direction. They just can't really pull the trigger going full that way yet. Cleveland Cavaliers, love it. Basically everything. Yeah, I mean, everything has been going well for the Cavaliers. Best record in the league. Started 15-0. Everybody's playing well. Some of their guys are having career seasons. Everything. Kenny Atkinson looks like the perfect hire. Everything's going well. So yeah, not really much more to say about the Cavs. Hate it. Opponent 3-point shooting. I do feel that. I definitely do feel that watching the last week or two, that the 3-point shooting for the other team has been very, very, yeah. Teams are lighting us up from three a little bit. That's how we lost a couple games. But everything else is going really, really well. So, yeah, you love it. Dallas Mavericks, take care of business without actually peaking. I, 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 I feel that. I definitely do feel that for the Mavericks. They've been very, very good recently. Been on a hot streak, got up. I think they're like fourth in the Western Conference now. But yeah, they're not actually peaking. Like, they still have some things they can get better at. In terms of defense, in terms of Luka is finally starting to heat up. that has had some injuries here and there. Klay Thompson hasn't really done a whole lot, and yet they're still winning games. So that's good. Hated the defensive rebounding. Team two team gets out of the box. Top defensive rebound percentage. Only players who grade out above average more related to the position are guards. Huh, that's interesting. I never realized the rebounding aspect, but yeah, I mean, got to get better. Especially when you have Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively. A team like this definitely needs to be, a good rebounding team. Especially with Luca is a big guard that rebounds the ball. Kyrie can get in there and rebound. Yeah, that's interesting that they're a bad defensive rebounding team. Denver Nuggets, love it. Nikola Jokic. Yeah, he's right now he has a really good case for winning his fourth MVP in the last 5 years. He's been absolutely dominant. I've said it multiple times on the channel. I had a whole video dedicated to it. So you can go back and watch that. Hated Jamal Murray's roller coaster. Yeah, Jamal Murray just hasn't been the guy this year. He hasn't been the guy they needed to be. Luckily, in their last game against the Kings, he showed some signs of it. He had a clutch game. He had like 28 points, hit the game-winning shot. So maybe that can unlock something in him. Sometimes guys just need one game or one moment to kind of lock them in. Hopefully, that's what it is. But definitely they don't have anything besides Nikola Jokic. That's another thing to hate about it. And yeah, Jamal Murray has just not been Jamal Murray this year. The Pistons. Cade Cunningham is an all-star. Yes, Cade Cunningham has been very, very, very good this season. Very good. I don't know what his numbers are off the top of my head, but I know he's top 3 in assists. Will give you about 22, 23 points per game. Like he's been awesome. Really. He definitely deserves an all-star appearance this year. He has been very good. Hated absence of a secondary playmaker. Um, yeah. Cade Cunningham has a lot of turnovers. That's been the one kind of criticism you could say about Cade Cunningham is he does turn the ball over a lot. That's also because you can't really trust anybody else with the ball. Jaden Ivey is is more of a scoring guard than a playmaking guard. We know that. And then all their other guards, Marcus Sasser is also another guy that more is going to lean towards scoring. They don't have a big forward like Tobias Harris isn't a playmaker. Malik Beasley, Tim Hardaway Jr. out there just to shoot. So they don't really have any more like anyone else that can really be a true point guard on the team beside Cade Cunningham, which is why he has the ball so much in his hands and why he has a lot of turnovers. Because if you're a guy that has a high frequency with the ball, it's just inevitable that you're going to turn the ball over a lot. So definitely needing another guy that can take the ball out of Cade's hands is definitely something the Pistons need to work on and figure out. Golden State Warriors, love it. Acting early. Yes, they were the first. They made the first big move right away. As soon as the December 15th deadline opened up, they brought in Dennis Schroeder. I think it's going to be very, very good for this team. He's having a really, really good season. So I like that. The front office is recognizing right away we need to make some moves happen. And this is not the only move they need to make. They need to make more moves because this team is just not good enough to compete in the Western Conference as a contender. Hate it. The lack of projection from the kids. Yeah, that's been a huge disappointment, for the Warriors. And why the Warriors have been kind of just weird over the last couple weeks. Like the young guys are not. Jonathan Kuminga had a really encouraging season last year. Looked like he was gonna be an MIP type of guy this coming season, and just hasn't really done it. He's been okay, but he just hasn't hit that next level yet. Brandon Podziemski had a great rookie year, and now he dang near looks unplayable, which is really, really tough. Moses Moody still hasn't really found his niche. When he does get minutes, sometimes he plays solid, but he just hasn't done enough to fully get into that rotation and have a full, role on this team. So yeah, the young guys just haven't been doing it. They have not taken the steps forward that this team really was banking on and this team really needs. And now they look kind of weird for not trading them. Now they're gonna just and now their values are low, so you're not getting anything crazy back for them. It's just really, really tough. That was something that they missed the mark on for the Warriors. Houston Rockets, punctuality. This is a happy to be your blip. This arrival well scheduled. Yeah. I mean, last year they took even more strides than we expected. We thought they were going to be better last year, but then they took even more strides. They were a 41-win team just outside of the play-in. And this year is going to be like, okay, what's going to happen? They're going to take a jump, but how big of a jump? And they have taken a huge jump. Now they're a top 3 team in the Western Conference. They made it all the way to the Final Four in the NBA Cup. Things are looking amazing over there for the Rockets. They look like a guaranteed playoff team. They have taken a huge, huge jump. Hate it. Half-court spacing. That is true. You have Dylan Brooks, a good shooter. Fred VanVleet has been very streaky. Jabari Jr. also has been very streaky. Jalen Green is streaky. They don't have any really consistent 40 per. We know this guy's gonna be a shooter. Besides Dylan Brooks, even then he can get streaky at some points too. So they don't really have a lot of shooting. And Alper Şengün isn't a 3-point shooter like that. He'll take 1 or 2 if you need him, but Alper Şengün likes to work in the paint. So they don't really have a lot of spacing and consistent shooting out there. You know, they have a lot of streakiness, but they've been winning a lot more games because of their defense and their pace. You know, the Indiana Pacers love it. Pascal Siakam shooting. Haven't really paid attention to it. The Pacers just have had a bad season. You know, almost 30% of Pascal Siakam's looks are coming as spot up triples of career highs, complementing the upstick in volume with a personal best efficiency. So good on Pascal. I guess hate it. Confusion over what comes next. Yes, that is exactly what the hate it is. They've not had a good season at all after making a conference finals team last year, and now it's kind of like, what do we do now? Like a big move probably should be in the works, but then again, there's not really any. There's not many big moves out there besides maybe getting a Jimmy Butler or Brandon Ingram. And how much does that really, take your team to the next level? And yeah, it's just like no one. This team has been super disappointing. It hasn't looked like the same Indiana Pacers team at all. Um, and just yeah, like what happens now? Do we go out and make a big move, and do we sacrifice a lot of the young talent that we have to fully buy into this team and make a big move? I just think they probably should be, or do we just hope that this team is gonna come together at some point and we're gonna hit a hot streak? Like that. That's really yeah, like what happens now for the Pacers? Clippers, love it. Norman Powell's mid-career jump and feisty defense. The Clippers have been an amazing defense this season. That's how they won a lot of games. And Norman Powell is having an MIP type of season. That those are definitely things you wouldn't expect, but you love if you're the Clippers. You know that you can still be competitive without your star player even touching the court in the Western Conference, no less. Hated James Harden's workload. I mean, this is nothing new for James Harden. Almost every team he's been on, he's had a heavy workload. And this team, without having Kawhi Leonard, James Harden has to do everything for this team. And he's having a really good season. I've been wanting to do a video about James Harden, and I'm going to do it eventually. Unfortunately, the IU shot creator has been down a little bit, so I haven't been able to really do it. But the last couple of days, I was trying to make like another kind of like highlight breakdown video of James Harden. And I'm going to do that eventually at some point because he's having a great season. But yeah, definitely outside of James Harden, they don't really have anything else that they can really, they don't have anybody else to have the put the ball in their hands, which makes sense, obviously. The Lakers love it. Don Connect looks like an NBA player. Anthony Davis is driving. Yes, Don Connect looks like the perfect pick. Which I mean, still crazy to me that he fell all the way to 17. But the Lakers, he's been great. He's been honestly like their third best player this season, which is saying a lot. Um, Hated the defense. Yeah, the defense is horrible. The defense is horrible, man. The defense is really bad. Despite having Anthony Davis, who's one of the better defenders in the NBA, they just don't have anything on the defensive end that can be consistent. They are like a bottom five defense, I think, in terms of defensive rating. Yeah, it's been bad. Also, you hate it. The rest of the roster just is not good. The Grizzlies love it. Two syllable depth. The Grizzlies' depth has been, I mean, it's been incredible, man. Like I've said it a couple times, every time the Grizzlies come up, their development team is like second to none in the NBA. It's just been amazing. They've been able to find so many gems and they just look like NBA players now. John Morant, Desmond Bain, Marcus Smart have all missed time, a lot of time this season, and it just kind of doesn't matter. They could just throw in Scottie Pippen Jr. and Jalen Wells and Jake LaRavia and Jay Huff and just let them go, and they could still win games. So it's just been, yeah, hate it. The outside shooting, that's been a thing for the Grizzlies. Desmond Bain is not having a great season. Um, they don't really have a lot of like knockdown shooters. They do have Luke Kennard, who has missed a lot of time this season, but they don't really have a lot of consistent outside shooting, kind of similar to like the Houston Rockets. But they're such a good team. I'm not honestly not really worried about it. I'm not really too worried about the 3-point shooting of the Grizzlies. Miami Heat, love it. Tyler Hero shot profile. Yes, Tyler Hero has had an incredible season. Should be in consideration for an All Star spot. He's been incredible, and that's been a big difference. Has been the shot profile. He's not. He's cutting out a lot of the mid ranges for a lot more 3-pointers and layups, which is kind of like the meta in the NBA nowadays, and it's been working because he's always been a really good 3-point shooter. He just hasn't really had a huge like attempts of threes, but now he's doing it, and he's having his best season ever. Hate it, Jimmy Butler hair color watch. Yeah, I think this is more talking about just the confusion about Jimmy Butler. What's gonna happen? Are we gonna trade him? Is he not gonna get traded? Is he gonna request a trade? Does he like it here? Does he want to be here? Is he gonna sign an extension? Just the whole Jimmy Butler fiasco has been just like kind of a umbrella over everything with Miami Heat this season, and it's still ongoing, and we still don't know what's gonna happen. The Milwaukee Bucks love it. Giannis Antetokounmpo's persisting transcendence. Yeah, Giannis is amazing. Giannis is making an argument for best player in the world right now. He's definitely, I think, number two right behind Nikola Jokic. Definitely in the MVP, firmly in the MVP conversation. Might be some people's winners. He's been incredible. I mean, he's having a career season. Like it's just insane how Giannis just keeps peaking and keeps getting better and better and better and better. But we don't think he can get better. We think he's maxed out. He just reaches another level. It's honestly insane. You just have to appreciate it and admire it. Hate it. Thin margins for error. Yes, since they started the season off so bad at 2-8, they've been having to really climb to get better. And they have been. They've won 12 of the last 15 games. They're NBA Cup champions, and they're still fifth. They still have to go that. Um, yeah, Chris Middleton just came back. He played a couple games. He missed the NBA Cup final game due to an illness. But yeah, they don't really have a lot of margin for error, especially with a team that this team kind of needs to have a long playoff run this year. Because if they lose, get bounced in the first or second round again, it's gonna look not great for this team. So yeah, that's definitely something for the Bucks that is a concern. Timberwolves love it. Their supposed defensive demise was grossly exaggerated. The Timberwolves have gotten better. The Timberwolves have put it together a little bit more recently, and that's been their defense. Their defense had a streak where they went like 4 games in a row, holding teams to under like 100 points. The defense definitely looks like it's engaged again, it's back again, and things look better, which is what they relied on last year. Last year they were an elite defense, and that's how they won so many games. So they're getting that defensive identity back. Hate it. Offensive fragility. Um, yeah, it just feels like a lot of their offense is more like, all right, Ant, make something happen, or Julius, make something happen. The shooters, I've said it so many times every time I talk about the Timberwolves this year. The shooters, Don DiVincenzo, Mike Conley, Jamie Daniels, those guys aren't really having big impacts as we expected. Um, and it's just like, man, if they can't hit shots and they can't be impactful, it's gonna be really tough on offense. Sometimes their offense gets really predictable and tough. So they're gonna need something to shake and something to happen. The Pelicans, love it. Ease Missy, semi-touchable. Yeah, I mean, you're having a bad season when this is the love it part of it. But yeah, East Missy definitely has looked a lot better than expected. He's been really good. One of the more consistent players on the Pelicans because he's just been there. One and number two, yeah, he's definitely had a lot of great moments, a lot of great games that you're like, dang, he's coming on a lot more than we expected to. Like he's a really good shot blocker, great around the rim in terms of touch, getting dunks and rebounds. Like he's done everything you kind of asked of him to do, and he's gonna be really nice there. Hate it. The mass production in a Pelicans player Voodoo Doll. Yeah, I mean injuries, obviously injuries for the Pelicans. Injuries. That's the only thing you can say. Injuries. I've just been like, man, this team is bad. The Knicks, love it. 5-out offense is caps lock working. The offense for the New York Knicks looks incredible. It honestly is. Like Karl Anthony Towns, I feel like has taken another jump this year that I didn't even know was possible. Like he was really good in Minnesota, but honestly, this is like my favorite version of Karl Anthony Towns. Like it's just been incredible to watch. Like he's having a really legitimate All NBA type of season. Definitely should be an All Star starter in the Eastern Conference. Hitting the three ball, amazing. Rebounding the ball well, scoring everywhere. OG Anunoby is having a really good offensive season. Jalen Brunson is still doing his thing while having a career on assists. Mikal Bridges offensively is starting to take, that step. So the offense has just been like amazing. And the 5-out, this is like a 2K offense. Have a 5-out, have a center like Conley Towns that can space the floor. We're gonna also punish people down low. Jalen Brunson can score, all shooting all around. Like this is a perfect offense, especially for 2K. You know, hated the defensive ceiling. The Knicks have literally flipped their identity. They used to be always defense was their calling card, and the offense were just gonna figure it out. Now it's been their offense has just been elite, and their defense is just like we're gonna have to figure it out because when you have Anthony Towns as the center, you're not gonna have an amazing defense, But Mikal Bridges is definitely like it's been weird. He usually is one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. This year hasn't been that. The Knicks defense in general has just not been great, allowing a lot of 3-pointers. There's been a couple games where they just get broken down and teams just start unloading threes on them. And you're like, dang, what's happening right now? This is the Knicks I know. So yeah, the defense definitely should be a little bit of a concern over there. OKC Thunder, love it. Infernic defense and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander 3-point volume. Elite defense. That's how they win a lot of games, especially without Chet Holmgren, who, for my money, I thought was going to be the DPOY before he got injured. But they still have had an elite defense. They have hands everywhere. So many great defenders. They're active, just amazing. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander definitely has taken a lot of threes, a lot more threes than ever this season. Hate it. getting blown out in the NBA Emirates Cup Finals proof the Thunder aren't ready for the moment. They should probably load up and start over. Yeah, they don't really have a lot of things to hate. You know, you hate that Chet Holmgren is out. That's the one thing you hate. But besides that, it's like, yeah, they lost in the NBA Cup final, but it's like, okay, like that doesn't change anything about what I feel about the Thunder. So yeah, Orlando Magic, love it. Their resilience is inspirational. Absolutely. I mean, Jamal Mosley, I've said it multiple times. Every time Jamal Mosley gets brought up, he should definitely get love for Coach of the Year. Like he just built such a amazing culture over there. Lose Paolo, and then you go on a 12 of your 13 wins. You lose Franz Wagner, and the last couple games, even though they haven't won all of them, they've still been super, super competitive. They give a fight every single night. That's no matter who's playing, no matter who's on the roster, they're gonna come out. They're gonna fight. They're gonna play defense. They're gonna play hard. They're gonna try everything they can to win, and you just have to respect them so much. You have to respect them, it's like a lot. So like, yeah, they have resilience. They love each other. They have a great culture over there, and that's why the Magic are such a great team. Hate it. Ban oblique injuries. Yes, absolutely. Like Paolo Banchero hurts his oblique. Franz Wagner hurts his oblique. It's like how you can't make it up. It's insane. Philadelphia 76 love it. Jared McCain's emergence. It sucks like so much that Jared McCain has a meniscus injury and he's not gonna play for a little while. It sucks because Jared McCain was a star. He really was a star. He was the best player in the Sixers at one point. He was running away with Rookie of the Year, doing his thing, 20 point per game scoring, shooting the ball, getting to the rim. Like he was doing so much, and it was so fun to watch, man. It's man, you just can't have nice things sometimes. Hate it. The injury luck is bad, even for them. Yeah. Like Joel Embiid literally has only played 7 games this year. Paul George missed time. Tyson Maxey missed some time. Jeremy McCain's gonna be out for a while. Even Andre Drummond missed some time. Kyle Lowry missed some time. Like the injury bug is like, man, it's just running through Philadelphia this year, man. Phoenix Suns, love it. The record with Kevin Durant. When this team has Kevin Durant on the court, they're one of the best teams in the league. 13-2 when Kevin Durant is out there. When Kevin Durant is playing, you can't mess with them. They're a contender. Hate it. The record without Kevin Durant. They literally they're such an interesting team because Kevin Durant being on the court and being off the court determines their entire season. If Kevin Durant is playing, this team is going to be very, very, very good. We have KD, Book, Beal. This team is great. When Kevin Durant's off the court, they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league. They're 1-10 without Kevin Durant. That's insane. The like the flip flop of when he's on the court, when he's off the court. Like it's insane. Portland Trailblazers, love it. Donovan Clingan's enormity. Yes, Donovan Clingan has been very good this rookie season. He's done his thing. I mean, in terms of blocking shots, protecting the rim, he's been great. And the Blazers are objectively a better team when Donovan Clingan is on the court. Like they are a better team defensively. They won a couple games with him on the court. Defensively, they're better. Just his presence alone in the paint, just a huge factor for this team. He did miss a couple games and he came back instantly, and they were a lot better. So yeah, Donovan McClain definitely looks like he's the guy of the future for this team. Hate it. Scoot Henderson's current trajectory. It's tough to say, but so far through a year and about a quarter of Scoot Henderson, in Portland, things haven't been good at all. Uh, things he just hasn't found it yet. Which is unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. He's still very, very young. He's still only like what 20 years old. He's still super, super young. He's still a year and a quarter into his NBA career. The Portland Trailblazers are a bad team, but it just hasn't been encouraging at all. It really hasn't been encouraging at all for this team, and I don't really know what to say about it. It's really tough. It really is. It's tough. I just don't know. We got to see more, obviously. If he doesn't do anything else this second year, we're definitely gonna have some tough conversations about Scoot in Portland. But yeah, it really sucks, man, that he just hasn't really been able to find anything. Sacramento Kings, love it. Domantas Sabonis on fire. Yeah, Sabonis is doing good. Doing his thing. Yeah, he's been taking a lot more threes this year, and he's knocking them down at a really good rate. But Sabonis has been doing his thing. Hate it. Crunch time woes. Yes, I made a Kings video the other day. You can go back and watch it on the channel. I talked about the entire Sacramento Kings, and one of the things, like, I was a kind of a believer in the Kings coming into the season. Not that they were going to be a contender and win a championship or anything like that, but I thought they were going to be a tough team and a good team because they have DeMar DeRozan, De'Aaron Fox, two really good clutch players, and they've honestly lost a lot of games this year because the clutch. Not only because of their offense, but they have one of the worst clutch defenses in the league. Like in terms of if you're a bad defensive team, which we know they were going to be a bad defensive team, as long as you can get stops, you need to get stops. You can be solid. You can hang on. But the Kings are the exact opposite. The Kings cannot get a stop, and they need to get a stop. They need to get a stop. They just can't do it, and that's how they lost a lot of games. And there's been a lot more about this Kings team. Again, you can go back and watch the video I made 2 days ago, and I'll talk about it. San Antonio Spurs, love it. Victor Wembanyama plus the vets. Wemby's having a really good second year, might make an All-Star team, and the veterans have been great. Chris Paul is having an amazing season. Harrison Barnes has been really, really good. Those have been so impactful, so much more impactful than I even expected for this team. And the Spurs are really competitive. Hate it. Certain rotation decisions. Can we stop pretending heavy Zach Collins? Healthy Zach Collins deserve any sort of backup front court minutes. Give us more Charles Bassey and Sandro Mukashvili. Yeah. Charles Bassey's had some moments. Charles Bassey's been solid. You know. Um, Jeremy Sohan, they're healthy again. Devin Vassell's their sixth man, which is interesting. But he's been doing pretty good. So yeah, I just want them to be more consistent. But again, they're a young team, so I can't really expect that from them. Toronto Raptors, love it. The energy and overall development. Yes, the Raptors again, they've been tanking beautifully. Definition of tanking, where they're in every game. The last 5 minutes, they're like, all right, let's pull back a little bit. They're at least they're competitive and show some sort of spirit. In the developing. RJ Barrett having an amazing season. Grady Dick, great second year. Ochai Baji even has a good moment. Jonathan Mobo has some moments. Jamal Shed is being a rotational player. Jameson Battle has become like a guy that no one I didn't even know existed to an actual rotational player. So the Raptors' development has been great. You have to like a lot about the Raptors season. Hate it. Injuries. Yes, that is tough. Scotty Barnes is out again. Mayo Quickly's only played in like 3 games this year. Bruce Brown hasn't played at all, looking like Woody on the sideline because he could be a trade candidate if he plays well. So yeah, injuries definitely suck, but everything else has been really good. Utah Jazz, love it. Those playoff odds. ESPN's Basketball Power Index gives Utah Jazz a 0% chance of making the season. Oh man, yeah. Um, yeah. The Jazz suck. They do. I mean, it's just obvious. The Jazz are bad. Um, yeah. That's really all. Hate it. Can Utah even spell defense? Yes. Every time I look at defensive numbers, the Jazz are always like last. But yeah, they're bad. They're bad. There's a lot more things you can honestly say. Hate it. Cody Williams, their top pick, hasn't is out of the rotation, which is tough. Laurie Marketing isn't having a great season, really. A lot of their guys aren't really having great years besides John Collins, and Walker Kessler. But besides that, it's like a lot of their young guys haven't really taken a step or haven't really shown too much this year. So that's something to hate. And finally, we're at the Wizards. Love it. Alex R is hitting threes. Um, I wouldn't say that's my love it. Jordan Poole has been very good. Bilal Coulibaly has some moments, but Carrington has a solid year. Interesting that this is the love it. Is Alex R hitting threes? But hey, whatever. It's the Wizards. Hate it. This team should be more watchable. I mean, they're bad, man. Like, I think I talked about it in my video. I talked about the Wizards like a week or two ago, I think. But like almost all their losses have been by double digits. Like they're not in close games at all. Like not only are they getting beat, they're getting like beat. Like they're getting like beat up and left in the an alleyway beat. Like it's really tough to watch this team. Honestly, they really are unwatchable. It's been bad, but yeah, I think it's a good article. Shout out to whoever made this article. And yeah, it's gonna be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, liking, turn on notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really helps out a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.